And we're back at it again for another test. So first on the channel we will be testing Securaplus and LMTantimalware as per requested. So on the left we have Securaplus. We'll just quickly go through the settings. So I'm leaving it on automatic mode, so meaning the AI etc. will take charge. So let's have a look at the app settings. Okay, so universal AV settings we set to upload limits, so all the unknown files it will upload. The engines, these are the engines that are available, they all have been enabled. Scan settings, we left that, we just disabled the automatic scan, and all of this is enabled. Scan settings, the Apex is the offline AV engine, so we left that on medium. Real-time scanning, and we'll also register it as an AV. Exclusions, there's our script. Application whitelisting, we left it on name in trusted certificate list. Advanced settings, so as you can see the initial whitelist has been brought up, so that's been completed. Whitelist, restricted, these are all default settings, we haven't changed anything here. PowerShell has been allowed to run. Removable device, not testing that, but it is enabled. A vulnerability scanner, and under other we will check for updates here before we do the test, and that's about it. Under settings, for LMT, all the protection modules here have been enabled. With the new version 6.1.4, this function has been disabled. Okay, folder guard, folder encryption, folder guard, I see it actually lost my settings, but I'll just quickly add them again. Let's quickly do that. Okay, then these are the whitelisted roles. Heaps has been enabled. We're not testing parental control. So under settings we have enabled MC protection, memory optimization, and to start with Windows. Real-time protection, use this. We excluded the Yara rules. We'll test that in the next test to see if it makes a difference. Behavior detection, on scan, etc. Web protection has been enabled. Folder guard, anti-keylogger. Microphone anti-executable, we're not testing this. It might interfere with the malware testing. And the machine learning components have been enabled as well. So we're just going to quickly disable the real-time shields so that we can extract the malware and continue the test. Okay guys, so the malware is finally extracted. I'm going to throw a bunch of malware at these two products. They are newcomers to the channel, so let's see what they are made of. I know it's quite a lot of samples, but hey, what the heck, let's do this. 3,315 samples. It's quite a lot, but what the hell. Okay, so let's quickly, as far as I know, for LMT there is no option to check for updates, so I'm kind of assuming it is up to date. There's no real option to actually check for that. Okay, so the Apex seems to be up to date. Let's quickly check for this one. Yeah, so that's also up to date. So I think it's time to enable the protections. Also the Securaplus, I can't find that it actually have web protection, but we'll test that in any case to see what happens. Okay, real-time scans have been enabled. I'm not sure why the Avast is unticked. Oh, there we go, cool. Okay, it's finally ticked. Real-time scanning for that one as well, the universal AV. So auto upload. Scan, let's just quickly make sure. Okay, I think that's that. So it is up to date, still on AI mode. Let's just quickly enable LMT as well. Okay, we're almost there. Okay, and real-time shield is enabled. That's really good to see. So I think we're all secure and we're all good to go. And we still have a folder protection. Okay, so I think we can start this test, guys. I think we are protected. So the first test obviously will be the website execution. So let's quickly try that. Let's see what happens. Okay, let's allow that one. Okay, so I think Securaplus might be finished. Okay, so now we've got a malware here. Let's say quarantine. It doesn't seem like there is web protection itself, so obviously it will just block the malware as soon as it is downloaded. So it doesn't seem like there's a web filtering for this one. Okay, so this one I think is blocked by Firefox. Let's say ignore. Okay, I'm just going to wait for LMT. I see it's a little bit slow and we'll look at the results. Okay guys, sorry, so the first malware execution, or for the website execution, seems to got a bit stuck, so I had to close it and I'm just reopening it now, as you guys can see. So we're getting a lot of pop-ups, so that's good from the web protection. So let's see what happens. Okay, so this is LMT's website, or web page blocker. Okay, so it seems like all the web pages are actually closed. We do actually get quite a couple pop-ups or notifications from LMT. So all these oops are that, so that's good to see. So we have quite a couple of pop-ups. Let's just close all of them. Okay, so let's quickly have a see at the downloads. Okay, so we do have these 4 files. That was downloaded. These were downloaded by me. I had to do a couple of maintenance. So yeah, so we do have a couple of files that downloaded. Obviously less than Securaplus, but considering LMT does have a web filter, I still think Securaplus did actually give LMT a really good go. But yeah, I'm gonna leave those malware there. I'm gonna count them towards the initial malware that's left on the machine after all the scans have been done. So I think it's time to execute the malware. Okay, so now we're getting pop-ups on them both. That's really good to see. I'm gonna attend to this malware. Once they're all done, we'll look at the final results. Okay, so the malware execution is finally done. So let's quickly have a look-see at Securaplus. Okay, let's quickly see what's still running. We'll just need to see if there's any IOCs on the system, but it doesn't seem that way so far. Okay, so have a look at our startup items. So we have this tool that's starting up, this one as well, and then obviously the .NET. Let's have a look at LMT. Okay, so we have this startup item, this one, and a lot of Javas. Okay, so I'm going to restart these two machines so that we can get the full scans running. Once these scans are done, we'll look at the results. Okay, and the full scans are done. I just have to point out for LMT, I had problems doing scans on this VM. I was on 6.1.3. Then you get this random error message, as you guys can see. So I can't do scans completely, so I did context menu scans. The only folder I haven't scanned was Windows. So if there's anything in there, we unfortunately have to skip it. The scanner seems to be a bit buggy for LMT, maybe it's just a VM. And then for Securaplus, we have the last bit of malware that we need to attend to. So I'm just going to select all of this, and then we're going to say quarantine. Okay, now that all the malware has been quarantined, I'm just going to close all of this. These are just the additional scans that I was trying to run. Okay, so we're going to restart these two machines. LMT did remove malware in the scans that I was able to run, so just keep that in mind. And then as soon as these two are back up and running again, we will do the third-party opinion scans. Okay guys, so I'm finally back at my desk and the tests are done as well. Let's look at the third-party results. It seems like in app data roaming we do have these files here. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 files. Let's just quickly go through this one. Okay, it just seems like it's still malware in our test folder. Okay, so quite a lot of malware was missed by Securaplus. And then we obviously have this file under documents, and then this is a folder inside the malware folder. And yeah, so it seems like about 7 malware fragments are still left. Okay, let's close this. Let's look at LMT. So we have quite a bit of files here under local temp, app data roaming there. Another one in temp as well. Not as much malware still left in our test folder. Another one there, but still a couple of samples left, and that's that. Okay, let's have a look at Norton. Okay, so Norton found one under app data roaming. Start menu, so it's a patch file that's trying to run. Here we've got quite a bit, so there's also app data roaming, local temp roaming, etc. Okay, let's close this one. Okay, so under app data local, let's see if we can enlarge this a bit. Okay, so we still have under roaming as well, that same Microsoft folder. Okay, then obviously it's malware on the desktop. Okay, and then on the Windows installer, we've got another MSI. Now let's look at LMT. Okay, so that is directly under my profile, and then app data roaming. And then malware on the desktop, and then we've got one registry key. Okay. Okay, now let's look at Malwarebytes. Okay, so let's have a look see here. Okay, so program data, there's a couple of things here, a couple of library files, app data as well. That same Microsoft folder, app data, then malware on the desktop. So quite a bit of malware again missed. Okay. Okay, still malware on the desktop. Okay, and then we obviously have those files in the downloads. That was part of the web test, and then that same one under Windows installer. Now for LMT, let's see what happened on this side. Okay, so app data, temp, a couple of files here, app data roaming. Okay, malware on the desktop, let's go down. Okay, so then Windows installer was Windows System 32, and then a bunch of registry keys. I'm not looking too good. Okay, let's quickly have a look see at our startup items. Okay, so while we wait for LMT, let's look at this one. So startup item, we still have something that's .NET. We still have this and this one, so not that much. Another train smash. Let's look at LMT. Okay, we've got one here, there, a couple of Javas. Okay, so about 4 dodgy startup items with a lot of unnecessary startup items. And on this one, I would say we've got 1, 2 dodgy, and the rest is unnecessary. Okay, let's close that out. Okay, let's look at this one. Okay. Okay, doesn't seem like something is running that's persistent. Obviously, this is the startup item. Oh, it actually seems like it's part of the secure age. So okay, so we can subtract that one. Looks like that's part of the Securaplus. Okay, doesn't seem like there's something naughty running on this one either. Now for the final one, let's look at our files. Okay, so obviously under downloads, those files were picked up by Malwarebytes as well. A couple of files downloaded here. Let's look at our docs. Okay, so here we've got a couple of unnecessary folders, but luckily no ransomware infection. We can still access our documents. Okay, pictures are good, and pictures are good. Okay, cool. So I think this has now come to the end of the test. So let's just quickly recap on this one. Cons, I would say, the scanner as well is a bit slow for the Securaplus. We do have some parts of malware on the machine. We do have some unnecessary startup items that do look suspicious, so I would say those are IOCs. Pros, I would say, testing the product for the first time, it actually didn't do too bad. We have seen other programs do worse, but obviously we have seen programs to do better. But I would say Securaplus is average for me. Not disappointed, not super impressed as well, but it didn't do too bad. Would obviously like to test this product again. For LMT, I got also a bit mixed feelings about this product. Cons, I would say we do obviously have registry keys, also more startup items than Securaplus. Scanner is a bit buggy, and I did also notice high memory usage. It tends to use a lot of RAM. Pros, I would say also luckily no ransomware infection, but I do feel LMT has a lot of potential. I do like the interface and settings and things that you can tweak in the program, so maybe over time, if they do get more supporters, because they're still one of the very few AVs out there that are not that super popular, but maybe over time, but I do feel there's potential for them. But between these two, I would say Securaplus is the winner. Less startup items, less malware on the machine, but the only thing where LMT definitely beat Securaplus is the amount of malware that's still left on the machine. But that for me is not as more important as the machine actually being free of infection. There can be malware statically on the machine, but the rate of infection, I would say, is more on the LMT side. And they both definitely have potential to grow, but for this one, I would say Securaplus is the winner for me on this one. I'll definitely test these products again. So we'll start with the other test, and then we'll start with the mobile AV leak. So we were thinking about it, and as per requested, we'll look at putting AVs together and forming a league. So I'll be putting up a poll for you guys to vote for the AVs that you want to see in the tournament, and obviously the AVs that do get the most votes will go into the tournament. But we'll start that soon. But until next time, I'll catch you guys again.